You can go ahead and get the meeting started.
Okay, so let's call the meeting to order, and I would like to ask everyone to rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. May I have a roll call of our members of the meeting?
Yes, Director Branning.
Here.
Pleasanton alternate Testa. Here. Director Josie. Here. And Chair Halbert.
Present. We have a quorum. Thank you. Item 3 is the topic of meeting being open to the public, a chance for members of the public to weigh in on items that are not on the agenda, but are within our area of scope of work. Does anybody here from the public wish to speak?
We do not have anybody here that wishes to speak, and I didn't receive anything via email.
Thank you very much. We'll move to item 4, which is minutes of the March 25th meeting. Is there a motion to move approval?
So moved.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. Do we have any public comment on this item?
No.
Any board member comment? Seeing none, we'll call for the vote.
Director Branning.
Aye.
Pleasanton alternate Testa.
Aye.
Director Josie.
Aye.
Chair Halbert.
Aye.
Motion
That
passes.
passes unanimously. Thank you very much. Item 5 is the Gannett Fleming Task Order 3, Construction Management Services for Rutan Maintenance Bay Hydrogen Retrofit Project. Staff
Great,
report.
Yes, thank you, Chair Harbert. Good afternoon, committee members. I'm going to invite Dave Massa, our Capital Projects Manager, to join us at the table. So this is an exciting action that we are asking you to take. I'm dubbing fiscal 25 the year of the shovel in the ground. Because we are going to be building things this year. And this is our first major capital project that we are moving closer to the construction phase. As a reminder, this project entails the retrofit of 2 maintenance bays here at this facility with the safety equipment and ventilation needed for hydrogen detection systems. With that, I'd like to turn it over to Dave to present on the staff report.
She just stole all my thunder. All she left me with was numbers, really. Honestly, seriously, she stole all my thunder. You can repeat it.
You can repeat it, that's fine.
Basically, we're really excited to get moving forward with this.
I'll just move approval then if it's all done, if that's, no, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Go ahead. I don't mean to interrupt.
No, that's okay. There's two facets that we're moving forward with right now. There's construction administration. This is construction management. There is a very distinct difference between the two. Construction management will basically ensure that we get a product that meets all of the standards that are set forth in the plans. And administration is basically making sure that we get all of the designs and as-built. So 2 separate functions, 2 separate projects. This one pertains to management. The total cost for this is $242,358. That includes a 10% contingency of $22,033. For the base would be $220,325. The engineer's estimate for the construction, the overall construction, is $934,000. We'll bring that to you at a later date once we actually get the plans and we put it out for bid and see what we're actually going to be looking at. We're actually very excited to get this out to the public and start doing something. Do you have any questions for me?
Small question. So my understanding, so this is gonna work kind of like a project management firm.
Yes.
For
Correct.
getting it set up. Are they staying through construction
Yeah.
or are they just?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yes, basically, they'll make sure that all the i's are dotted and the t's, and they will actually be on site managing the day-to-day, because we still have to maintain buses here. So they'll divide the shop up the middle, they'll take one stop, one half, and they'll work on that, allow the contractor to work on it, and then move to the next. They'll also involve not only the planning department, fire department, because the hydrogen alert system, when it goes off, it essentially opens all the doors in the shop and calls the fire department immediately. There is no, is there really a leak? It calls the fire department. So this does involve educating them as well.
Cool. All right. Yeah, that was really cool, but looks awesome.
In our timeframe, just for the record, I know we're ordering the buses to be delivered by 2026. We're putting them in our 2025 budget.
Yes, correct.
So when do we anticipate the completion of this project? I know we're about to go out to bid for the actual construction. When do we anticipate the whole thing to be completed?
This facility, the Rutan retrofit,
Right.
will be done by the end of this calendar year.
By
These
the end-
funds expire, so we need to get this done.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is just step one of
Oh, understand.
many.
Yes, understand.
Okay, and because you said it, that if the alarm goes off, the fire department is called, that's not directly what this is about, but what does the fire department do when they get that call? They come out, obviously, but if it's a legitimate call, what is the mitigation on that?
Well, honestly, we're all gonna learn about that. It's just to ensure that the building is safe for occupancy. The fans are such that they can completely evacuate the entire building, not just the shop, the building of air in, I think it's less than 2 minutes.
Yeah, and hydrogen is, I think, 47 times lighter than oxygen. It rises very quickly. So if there's a leak, we want it out of the building as soon as
Yes.
possible.
Sure, so is there risk of explosion or is it,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah, oh,
it's
absolutely.
not just an inhaling?
No, it's
Really
hygiene,
still
yeah.
serious if
Yeah.
it was toxic to inhale. I was wondering if it was that or.
No, it's more the flammability of it, high voltage nature. And so our whole training program beyond this project, but just to get everyone, including all of our admin staff, our dispatchers, our utility techs, our police and fire and first responders, we all need to be educated on hydrogen, PPE gear, safety. What do you do if a bus has a leak or an alarm goes off? So, we aren't the first to be in this space. Luckily, we will be working with AC Transit, who already has been in this space for a dozen years. And so it'll be new to our area, but I think it'll be an exciting opportunity for us.
Sounds exciting.
Yes,
Sounds like it could be exciting.
It could be exciting.
Okay,
From my understanding is if the alarm goes off, you evacuate the building.
Yeah.
Until the fire department tells you it's safe to go back in.
okay, all right, thank you.
What's the overall project cost again?
900, well, this project is $242,358.
But the overall project for the retrofit, with all the grants we have, is just under 1.5 million. So we have
So-
spent some on design, we've got construction administration, construction management. The equipment we are projecting is going to cost just under $1 million.
So it feels like we're spending maybe then upwards of 25% just to manage this project. Doesn't the contractor come with their own manager? I mean, why? I get the idea of having a contract manager or a project manager for big, giant, complex, multi-million-dollar things where there's change orders involved and, cost overruns that need to be contained and make sure that, you're not taking, paying excessive costs. But this seems like a pretty straightforward project that doesn't seem to cost a lot. And the percentage of this as an overall percentage of this project seems high.
So I think it does appear to be a higher percentage of the total construction cost. However, this is typically our procedure for any type of public works projects. We do hire construction management services. I think the last time we did this would have been for the bus stop improvements on the Santa Rita Road corridor. So we just don't have the in-house expertise to be able to manage these construction projects, to make sure they're compliant with all the FTA labor rules, since this is federal money and we have some reporting that we have to do. And we do not typically, when we put out a construction project for bid, we like to have a different party be the construction manager to hold them accountable for the design and to make sure that they are acting, the construction manager is acting as agents of LAVTA to ensure that we're getting everything that we're wanting to pay for and that we have designed.
Did we get multiple people bidding on what this project? I mean, are you going to have somebody all day, every day managing this project? And if so, they're going to be doing that for less than a year, and they want $242,000 to do that?
So this was not out for bid competitively. This was assigned to our on-call A&E, architecture and engineering firms. We have 2 firms that do a variety of work for us. Unfortunately, Gannett Fleming is the only firm that does construction management services. So we were limited with our options. We did discuss internally going out for bid because of the nature of this project. It is, to your point, David, it is not a huge construction project. But with the timing that we have and with the grant funds expiring at the end of the year, we didn't want to risk losing that funding. And so we went with what we had available to us instead of going out into the market, just because of the risk of the funds expiring at the end of the year. We have extended these funds already, and so we do not think we can get an extension on them any further.
All right. Any other questions from my colleagues?
Just, I thought I read, and you mentioned that it's funded by grants. It's fully funded then.
Fully funded, low carbon transit operating grants, LCTOP, fully funded.
Any public comment?
We did not receive any, no.
Somebody want to move approval?
I'll move approval.
I'll second.
All those or rather a roll call vote, please.
Yes, Director Branning,
Aye.
Pleasanton alternate Testa,
Aye.
Director Josie, and Chair Howard.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you very much. Item 6, Las Positas College MOU.
All right, this is an action item. We are requesting that the Projects and Services Committee recommend that the board authorize the executive director and to execute our 4th two-year contract with Las Positas to continue our Las Positas College Student Transit Pass program. In November 2017, the students at Las Positas voted to approve a mobility fee. It is, I think, $8 part-time for students who are part-time and $9 per semester for students who are full-time. So the students approved this MOU, and since that point, LAVTA has been receiving those funds. In exchange, students and faculty are allowed to ride our system for free just by flashing their ID. The funding that we get is about $175,000 a year. I have met with Las Positas leadership, and they are excited to extend our agreement. The only changes made to the MOU, which is included as a draft in attachment 1 in your packet. The only update was we changed the frequency of our wheels fixed route service from every 15 minutes to every 20 minutes. And with that, I'd be happy to take any questions.
I have a question.
Yeah.
The students, the part-time students, does that include middle college and continuing enrollment students?
Middle college and continuing enrollment. I don't know, and I can find out.
Okay, and dual enrollment students that
Okay.
have like taking 1 or 2 classes, but they're still in high school, so they're not
Okay.
necessarily middle school, but they are taking a class
Okay.
from.
But they have
they-
IDs, so if they
Yeah, they
have.
probably do. If they're, I'll verify and I'll circle back on via email.
That'd be great.
Yeah, I would think you're right. If they have an ID, that they would be eligible. Oh, wow.
I don't know if like middle college students have a different ID than the normal law school college, I don't know.
I have never heard of middle college as a term, so it's,
Middle college is a form of dual enrollment between
Okay.
high school and Las
Got it.
Positas.
Got it.
But they are on, primarily they are on Las Positas' campus.
Okay.
During the day.
And I did used to work at Las Positas. It's been a lot of years, so things could be different. And my kids also did, while in high school, and they had the regular. So
They
I
had the
would
regular
guess that it
yeah.
was, but, yeah. So the No, it isn't just identified, LAVTA users. It is that pay the $9.
Oh, it's everyone.
Everyone does, so the non-users are subsidizing the users.
That's correct.
So I remember that from before, okay?
That's why they get it for very cheap. That's why we bring that, but it enables us to bring that price down per student.
And do we have figures? I was trying to remember if we had seen that in the past, figures of how many writers. There was something about,
I should have brought that. I was looking at it recently in preparation for my meeting with the president of Ospecitas. I did not include that, but I can include in our updated staff report for the board, I can include some ridership numbers. Okay. All right. I think we see strong ridership there. And one of our shovels in the ground will be improving the stop at Las Positas in the next year.
okay.
I actually would also like to see if the students, if they would be able to self-select maybe somebody that benefited from the program, you know, was a heavy user, maybe otherwise would have had more difficulty attending class. Maybe just hear from the student body that approved this. I'm assuming that they weighed in, and didn't they actually vote to do this?
Yes, sir, they did about 7 years ago.
Yeah, all right. Good. It's good to see a program that is so helpful to people. We could read the numbers, but telling the story is also very, very good for us as an agency to do. All right. Any public comment?
You have more
One
questions?
quick question.
Oh, Evan, go ahead.
Sorry. Does this MOU sunset, I know every 2 years we're renewing it, but does it,
No, I don't think
can we
it
renew it
does.
every 2 years?
Yeah, it's every
forever?
2 years forever. We can decide to go for a 5-year increment, or something shorter if desired, but right now it's just been a rolling 2 years. I'd like to get them on Clipper eventually, so maybe in our next,
And they have just a single bus stop out there?
they do. It's a large bus stop, but yeah, they have a nice turnaround with a couple of shelters and a real-time sign.
Right. Seeing no public comment, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second,
Roll call vote, please.
Director Branning,
Aye.
Pleasanton alternate Testa,
aye.
Director Josie.
Aye.
Chair Howard,
Aye.
motion passes.
Thank you. Item 7 is Youth Ride-Free Summer Promotion Pilot.
Yes, sir. This is, it's not an action item. Well, I guess we are requesting for the committee to hear the item and provide feedback to us. So in thinking about what we can do over the summer, what staff is working on is a youth ride-free summer promotion. So, as you are aware, students who qualify for the Alameda County Student Pass get to ride free year-round. This is for the low-income students in Dublin and Pleasanton, and for all the students in Livermore. In the summertime, around early June, we discontinue or suspend all of our school tripper routes, with the exception of the limited service we run for summer school. So we don't have the demand for student ridership that we do in the year, which is what we've always been cautious of when we're thinking about letting all students ride free. Well, in the summertime, we do have ample capacity on our buses. And so we thought it would be a great opportunity to roll out a pilot youth ride free promotion to really promote the new routes, in particular in Dublin and in Livermore, and then the enhanced weekend service to see if we can generate student ridership. It would be a simple program, no flash pass is needed. Basically, if you look like a youth, we would allow you to ride. This would result in a potential fiscal impact for us because we would not be billing Alameda CTC for those rides. The Alameda CTC does give us a reimbursement for every time a student taps their Clipper card. So in terms of what that dollar amount looks like, last year over the summer months, we billed Alameda CTC for about 9,000 rides, which is about $15,000. So we would be out just, not too much money, but it would allow us to really better understand what type of ridership we could generate when you remove that. So I think the risk is relatively low. what we would be doing is creating some digital marketing materials, and I think our critical deadline would be to get communication to the schools to help them spread the word before summer is out. So this is an info item per our major service change policy and Title VI policy. I am authorized to make temporary fare adjustments and pilot services, but I wanted to take the read of this committee and get your feedback before we went too far. So
Questions or comments?
However, we advertise the Uber Lyft program.
TikTok, yeah, right.
If we can see those kinds of numbers, that would
Yeah,
be
that would
great.
be awesome.
Yeah, my only concern, of course, is that, in some cases, the buses don't go where the kids wanna go, because we're not up in the neighborhoods where the routes are,
Mhm.
where the school tripper routes are, so, yes, we've improved a little bit with, speaking specifically for Dublin, with the 2 and the 4. But we're not everywhere where they wanna go, so I'm a little leery of making frustrated kids. I think that's a small concern. My bigger concern is the $15,000, and I'm trying to figure out a way where we can have our cake and eat it too. In areas where we have, like in Livermore, where the kids where they have those passes, there's no, those passes, if we're offering everybody else free, we can't capture that revenue, correct?
It would
There's
just
no
be
way for
hard
them
to communicate, I think,
Uh-huh.
that was what I was thinking about, that for some kids, if you don't have the clipper, you ride, if you do have the clipper, tap it, I think that might be hard. But I can ask Alameda CTC if they'd be willing to, work with us this year. And given that we have a history of
Right.
what that summer ridership looks like,
Right,
would they be willing to sort of honor
right.
maybe an update, give us a little inflationary increase?
Well, also, given that the kid, I mean, it's not all, but it's primarily the Livermore kids. We could run it in Pleasanton and Dublin perhaps.
Yeah,
Since
okay.
all
Yeah.
Livermore kids still have the
Okay,
pass,
yeah.
that if they board in Livermore, it's, if they were to board in Dublin or Pleasanton, then they would ride for free. But, youth rides originating in Pleasanton or Livermore, because the youth rides originating in Dublin and in Livermore are free to them anyway, right?
Well, yes.
I mean, with their
yeah.
clipper card.
Yeah, absolutely. If you have students going between the cities, then you would
Right,
potentially,
but how often is that happening?
I don't know.
Unless they're going to the mall, not often, right? Going to the mall from Livermore, they're using their clipper card, going back, they're riding for free,
Yeah.
right?
It's-
Or the fairground.
I think instead of different rules for the cities, the solution is probably to advertise it less in Livermore.
Yeah,
Because
Yeah,
then,
yeah,
instead of
that's
trying
great,
to figure out a way of,
Yeah,
right,
because then if a Pleasanton person visiting someone in Livermore, now they can't get back because
Right.
they need
yeah,
a clipper
no,
card.
that's good for like the geo
And-
card.
right.
Or we're asking what city you're from.
Yeah,
It
you're
gets more
absolutely right.
complex.
Yeah.
You're absolutely
So
right.
just
Don't
shifting,
advertise it. But what if we advertise it on the buses though?
they'll see it, but
Yeah.
it's, I mean.
And we do have the 18 that we
Online
wanna promote.
Stuff
Right.
can be, online is easy to target cities and things like that, so the more intense marketing
Yeah,
to Pleasanton and Dublin.
yeah.
There'll be some marketing.
Mhm. And word
regardless
of
the
mouth too. and-
Right.
And the press releases and
Yeah.
stuff will go to everyone, but
Right.
I don't know if the kids are reading the newspapers.
But my question, I guess really was, if we are saying youth ride free, can we even charge the kids that have a clipper card? Because the fare is currently $0.
Right,
So that's where I would say we'd have to reach out to, Alameda CCC to see if they would even honor the fare.
okay. I will do that before I bring this back.
Yeah.
If the feedback is positive.
So thoughts for me is that while the buses are running their fixed routes, we're not doing anything differently. We have lots of extra capacity on those bus rides. I don't see it as a cost per se, other than we are advertising. So I would like to know, what's the marketing advertising budget we're planning to spend, and how many students do we typically get in the summer? The spend per ride or the spend per student that takes advantage of the system now and gets exposed to bus riding. That's the cost that is a hard cost in my mind. The cost of we're losing a fare. I guess if we're trading somebody out that would otherwise pay a fare, yeah, I could see that, but we really don't have a lot of that, right? So that's just how I think of this. in terms of costing. So how much is our budget to market this thing?
I think we were thinking very minimal, just really some digital, some creative ads, really pushing information out to the schools directly. I'll look into the TikTok. I really don't know how much that costs, but we were not thinking KPIQ radio ads. We were thinking just really targeted ads towards the schools and possibly some Google advertising or Facebook or something. So we don't have a hard budget, but nothing crazy. $10,000 probably at the most.
So actually, a public service announcement from our media people is probably not a bad idea. They do it for free, I think, right?
Oh, and certainly Peach Jar notices or
Mhm.
Parent Square notices, those are free.
Yep.
It doesn't cost us anything. I mean, I think we would have to, it's a fair bit of fair revenue to make up for $10,000 in advertising.
Mhm.
We don't think we're gonna get that much back in the fall. Additional rides that we wouldn't have already gotten, then it's not worth the money, right? The whole point is to get them riding over the summer and used to it so that we capture
More rides,
non-school tripper
Right.
rides, right? Because the school tripper rides we're gonna get no matter
Yep.
what. So we're looking at weekend rides and after school hour
Yep.
rides.
Yep.
So we would have to generate a lot.
This is just during the summer, isn't
It
it?
is just.
Yes, but the point is, to your point, right, the advertising spend needs to be offset by new trips that would be generated in the fall based on kids getting used to riding the bus, right?
And this is a pilot, we're pitching it as a pilot to learn, to see what kind of ridership can we generate? And, if it makes sense, I can come back to the board in 2 weeks with better information about the marketing budget, more information after speaking with Alameda CTC to see if they're amenable to, reimbursing us for at least what we think would be taken by Livermore students, and then we can, have a bigger discussion at the
Yeah,
board.
I think that's a great idea. And I wouldn't be afraid to send the information out to the elementary schools, not just the
Sure.
middle and high schools, because, hey, kids ride free, mom,
Yeah,
bring the kids on the bus.
and show them how to use it as sixth graders and.
Well, even the little ones, right? If you're, don't drive.
Yeah.
Take the bus where you're gonna go, because the kids are free. You only have to pay the $2 for your fare. You don't have to pay $6 for you and the 2 kids to go to the pool or whatever you're doing.
So I'm excited about this. The big thing I want is a lot of data at the end of it.
Right.
Because fairs are really not the business we're in. So as far as like the revenue gained or lost on this is not really, organizationally, it's not the end of the world. If ridership is dramatically increased because we have removed a barrier, that's gonna tell us a lot.
Mhm.
If ridership doesn't really change, then that tells us a lot too. And so I think, this is a really low price to pay to see what, at least amongst youth, what the price of riding a bus might do. And we can maybe extrapolate that to adults, but that's a little bit of a leap of logic. So I think just making sure we're really tracking the data as well. And so in September or October, you can come back and give us a nice report out.
And we can compare to our tri-transit schools, so the nice thing about this is it would go through summer, and then we have our month of tri-transit to school, which is our free month for all the routes. And then we see about a 10% drop after the tri-transit, so it'd be just interesting to see, what that drop on the local routes is. We could also see about how to incorporate a survey. I'm always curious about how people learned about this, how they used it, what would they have done otherwise. And it could be a survey geared towards parents, that we, ask people to complete,
Also, if they're a new rider.
Are they a new rider? Yes, yeah.
And I really wouldn't shy away from targeting, family-centric events. And reminding parents that, hey, don't take the whole family on the bus, but the kiddos are free this summer.
The fair kicks off summer, this would kick off, assuming it's the end of the school year, would kick off about in line with the fair.
Yeah.
Most of the fair.
Yeah.
So.
Swim team championships, towards the end of the summer. Hey, remember, this is kids ride free. Take everybody that, because parking around the swim centers are sometimes difficult, and, just all of those, any of those big things.
And the schools are happy to promote these.
Yeah, that's great.
Great. This is just providing direction. Do you have enough direction?
I think I do.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Item 8, preview and upcoming PNS committee agenda items.
So lucky you, I think we will be canceling your May meeting. I am not 100%, there might be one item
We had somebody that wanted to do public comment on that.
Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. We have a public commenter for our last item.
For agenda
Oh,
items.
my bad. Let's hear it. Welcome.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Julie Hopkins. I work for Livermore Area Rec and Park District. I'm here to represent the elementary school children, and I'm quite excited about this hopefully happening for us this summer. We were very much gifted getting the bus 18 back, which covers our Sunset Elementary School, our Mitchell and elementary, and mine that I'm the coordinator at Smith Elementary. And so we use the bus service, all of us during the summertime. So I'm quite excited to hopefully go back and let everybody know. I could be the voice for LARPD, to let them know. And for the elementary school kids, to let them know that this is definitely something that they will have to look forward to this summer. So I'm excited. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments.
And just to make sure, it's definitely something to look forward to this summer, or?
I would like to, yeah. I think we'll make it happen. I'll have to answer some questions for everyone, make sure we're all comfortable. It won't be perfect, but we can learn a lot.
And this still has to go to the full board, yes?
I will bring it to the board. It doesn't need to be an action item, but I definitely want to make sure everyone's comfortable. And we'll have a little time. The board meeting is May 6th. So we'll start working out some creative here.
Great.
Okay.
Item 8, upcoming items.
So I was just sharing that I'm trying to keep your May meeting free of agenda items because it falls on Memorial Day. So looking to try to shift things if things come up. In June, we will be bringing you some fare structure changes. So reflecting some work coming down from the region, also cleaning up some of our fare products that we will be recommending not selling anymore. Again, another shovel in the ground. We are working to finalize a task order with our design firm, our on-call design firm, Kinley Horn. This would be to design the 3 mobility hubs in our region, one at BART, one at Las Positas, and one at the lab. And then we typically cancel your July meeting, and then I'll fill up your August and September agendas without a doubt. And I can take any questions that you have.
Questions? Seeing none, we actually are adjourned because I don't know that we're going to have a May 27th meeting. So item 10 is not really relevant anymore. With that said, let the record reflect we got this meeting done in 34 minutes. Great job, everyone.
The record.
Yeah.
Good.